Hank, are you there?
Right. We're interviewing now. Oh, sorry, mate. I was zonked out for a minute there. Bloody fingers take too long to fighters take too long to show up for these. But question for Leon lad: you got taken down over and over again by Bilal Muhammad and looked like a proper bellend man. How are you going to stuff the takedowns of Tom Brady this time around? Because when I saw you get bullied by that proper B the last time, I nearly jumped off my balcony in it. Yeah. Yeah.
Duty?
Oh god, he always wears these stupid fucking giant ass puffy jackets. God damn it.
Well, now. I overlooked Bilal, and he only won 3 rounds to my 2. It wasn't even in a row. My back looked like a camel's in that fight, so this time around, I'm healthy and ready to take back that belt. Bilal being champion doesn't sit well with me, and I'm ready to put that lazy eye back to work. But what about Tom Brady, man? What about that Tom Brady quarterback, Super Bowl GOAT, Tom Brady? How are you preparing for him? Who's Tom Brady? Splitty City Slickers! Splitty City Slickers! Welcome once again to Split Decision Combat Sports, where Hank the Tank and the Idaho Fight Fan agree occasionally, concede a point a time or two, but mostly disagree beyond the realm of human comprehension. And this time, we are going to be split on how many British fighters are going to be winning on the UFC's UK card. Because I tell you this much, there are I think 5, 6, 7 English fighters on this card. A lot of them prospects, some of them old crafty bets. And we're going to be seeing how many we have. Is it going to be a full-on English sweep? I highly doubt it, unless we're in a certain region of the world. Fighters of a certain region don't sweep the card often. And which ones are going to be underdogs and which ones are going to be favorites that we're picking. Because it's just stacked. And not only in terms of English fighters, but honestly stacked in terms of fight quality, in my opinion, or at least intriguing fights that I think are going to have some fun finishes, some good action. So I'm looking forward to this card, which means it's going to suck. But hey, we get to break it down together.
Yeah, I haven't even looked at the card. I just walked in the door actually half an hour ago.
Yeah.
Is this card in the UK?
Card is in the UK. It's in the O2 Arena.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Every time they do a show in the O2, it's pretty damn good.
I honestly think it's because of the Leon Edwards Sean Brady main event that people were like, okay, this is probably an Apex card.
Yeah, I was anticipating it would be. I didn't. But that's fantastic news that it's actually on the road in the UK.
Yeah, so you're going to get a lot of noise.
Good to see Chummy Boy. He says, I want my 172 fix. We're going to do a preview. Me and Phil from CST Combat Sports today are going to do a preview for that show tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. And it's Antoine. What's up? He said, what's up, boys? Love these late night pods. I actually think it's a great main event on paper. All right, cool. Awesome. Yeah, we're going to break it all down. And there's Nick. Good to see Nick up in the chat.
Hey.
Before we get into that, Hank the Tank has got to tell us about his regional picks.
Yes, that is right.
For the weekend.
That's right. We got Cage Warriors and we have LFA, the classics. Honestly, the 2 best regional promotions you could go to outside the UFC for, hey, I want a bunch of finishes. I want some blood. I want some war. You get that with Cage Warriors and LFA. And my first lock for this weekend is going to be a very familiar face here. It's Harry Hardwick, one half of the Hardwick brothers in Cage Warriors. I got him winning by round 4 KO here against, honestly, a guy who is not deserving of a title shot. Honestly, that dude who's by the way, lower on this card. Oh God, Kawani Lopez, this guy right here. Remember, you can't forget this guy's mug. He was the original challenger of Harry Hardwick a couple months ago, and honestly, I think we've sunk pretty low. We've taken a bit of a dive in quality of competition because this guy Javier Garcia, great. He. What Jesus Christ, Elijah John. I bet that was I bet he lost that, and then that was overturned to a no contest. Other than that, he got a split decision win against a 9-2 guy, and then 11-9. Rear naked choke. I didn't even know he had that, but I remember this 9-2. He won a split decision, but I was honestly not impressed by his performance in that fight whatsoever.
George St. Pierre style.
Yeah, he just out technicaled his opponent, and the only good thing about that fight was Angela Lee on commentary because she has the voice of an angel. But Harry Hardwick knocked out Coeny Lopez, who does, to be fair, gas out towards the later rounds if he gets there. But still, he's a tough son of a bitch. And Harry Hardwick still put him out flat. Knocked out a wrestler as well. He seems like a finisher, Harry Hardwick. And I've heard conversations that he might even be better than his brother, George Hardwick, because of just how impressively he's finishing these fights. Whereas George Hardwick, oh, he's very technical. Oh, those are nice body shots. Yeah, he wins a split decision, unanimous decision over 5 rounds. Harry Hardwick seems to be getting the job done. He has the technicality, but it seems like he also has the power in his fists. So I think he's going to knock out this guy, Javier Garcia, because I'm just not impressed with him at all, man. And I honestly thought he was losing to Roberto Hernandez, which is why this thing was a split. And then we have
I'm looking through some of the other. I'm on GrabakaHitman.com right now. Some of the other cards of the weekend. Yoel Romero.
Yes, dirty boxing, baby.
He's gonna be on the first dirty boxing.
Not the first one. He knocked out another bum.
It says DBX1.
DBX1. Well, people forget, man. There was another dirty boxing like exhibition event they had with Yoel Romero where they just found some guy in the crowd and he knocked him out. Destroyed him.
So there's gonna be some stuff going down this weekend. There's a deep card. Go over to City Life Project and stay tuned for that one. Oh, and there's gonna be deep jewels too. That's so sick. There's a BKFC fight night as well, and then there's a KOK, which is a King of Kings. It's like a kickboxing promotion. I would cover that, but they're doing boxing and MMA. That's not really, doesn't jive with me. But yeah, and then obviously the big one card will be happening this weekend. So I just wanted to, I was just browsing through GrabakaHitman.com.
Yeah, it's funny to see Yoel Romero on these tiny ass promotions just putting people's lights out. But you know what? There's no other place for Yoel Romero to be. Because honestly, when he's anywhere else other than the UFC that's a major MMA promotion, he usually shits the bed and has very boring fights. So I'd rather have him in dirty boxing.
Yeah. Dirty Hippo's in the chat. Wanted to say what's
speaking of dirty.
Hey, you want to fight about it?
You want to fight about it? Like, get loud. Get loud.
Say the PFL might be the best regional promotion.
Yeah.
Chad Hardwick might be the best of the Hardwick family. And
Chad Hardwick.
We got Kobe.
Hey, Kobe Wiggle.
I see Kobe. Yoel beat a power slap super heavyweight.
Apparently. Wow. Yeah. That's a prestigious win right there.
And Tress just popped in the chat. Good to see you too.
That guy's got power in his palms. But then we have our co-main event. And if you were following the Dana White's Contender Series last year, you would recognize this name, Will Curry. He got beaten over 3 rounds by Jordan Santos, who just barely lost to. It was Ozzy Diaz at the start of the UFC 313 card. And I got pretty lucky with that decision. I'll be honest with you guys. But Jordan Santos kicked this guy's butt. Usually he's used to, KO TKO by retirement. So his opponent literally got tired or was just beaten up too much and they just called it off. And then
he retired. Like he's done. He's done.
Yeah, he's done. He's done with the sport. He put the gloves down. And then a 16-13 opponent, rear naked choke, Whippy. This is his one impressive win. And then he lost to Mick Stanton, who was 10-7 at the time that they fought each other. This guy, Eli Aronov, I think of as just sort of a better Will Curry. the Israeli tank. Oh boy, that's too relevant. And he lost to Zachary Reese via armbar. That was Zachary Reese's introduction to the UFC, his big debut. But I can't blame him for that. Reese pulls off a crazy submission every a time or two. 10-1 guy, he gets an arm triangle choke. Not the best of competition either, but I just feel like he's more of a dominant and stronger wrestler than Will Curry is. Like he's might be Will Curry on steroids. And I think he's gonna take Curry down, and I think he's just gonna beat the crap out of him so bad he actually turns him into a Curry. His face is gonna look like Curry after this one is over. So I just think that Eli Aronoff, he's solid on the feet, but I think he's just a powerhouse on the ground, whereas Will Curry fights and fights and fights for takedowns. For Aronoff, it sort of comes easy. I think he's going to outplay Will Curry.
So Will Curry's like a grinder.
Yeah, he's a grinder. He gets you up against the fence. Oh, he's working. Oh, now he got the takedown. Great. And Aronoff is just like, slam. Gotcha.
We're not saying he's on grinder. We don't know his sexuality, and we don't kink shame around here.
No, we don't. But we do. We can confirm that he is on there. But then our next card is LFA 204 Kuna
is
versus
Guzzi on this card.
Unfortunately, no. Guzzi. I don't think Guzzi is on this card. Otherwise, I would have been picking Guzzi as my lock for the show because that man is a powerhouse and he deserves to be on the Contender Series. Fucking Guzzi, man, domination. But instead, I'm picking yet another familiar face from Contender Series, Mr. Antoine Ho, who was the victim of Loner Kavanaugh's knockout in round one off of just a random ass 1-2 boom, down he goes, knocked out.
Yes,
and now
the 5-time K1 world champion, Loner Kavanaugh.
Yeah, the great 5-time K1 world champion, very prestigious world champion. And before that, he beat a 2-1 guy, he beat a 4-1 guy. I mean, this is LFA. This is understandable. And meanwhile, he's facing a 3-4 dude, whose one win was in CFFC, knocking out a 2-0 guy, but that was sort of a fluke. 4-1, he loses. 4-2, he gets subbed. Yeah, this guy is just begging to be finished in this fight. I think, he's 31 years old. Antoine Ho is only 24. I think it's obvious that Tuan Ho is going to be the quicker guy here. And I think he has power and he's technical. And there's a reason why he was on Dana White's Contender Series. So give me him to finish Jimmy, not Tividad. And he's not going to have a very Feliz Navidad after Antoine Ho puts his lights out. And then we have the co-main event between Ed Nielsen Santos and Dylan Mantello. You got my
Mantello?
Mantello.
Yeah. Wait, hold on.
Yes.
Okay, no. I think that guy trains with Longo, but I'm not sure.
Let me check. Yeah, Longo's MMA. There you go.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
But man, my picks are just full of Dana White's Contender Series failures and failures. Yeah, failures. Dylan Mantello was actually doing pretty well against Ahmad Hassanzada, and then he just gave him his back and then just gave him the rear naked choke. 15-13, he gets a flying knee. That's not impressive. He's near even. Krzyzewski actually submitted him, and that's how he got in the UFC. And it's been mostly just some success in CFFC against not the best of competition. Whereas Ednilson Santos beat Camwella Kirk. He was actually a pretty big underdog in that fight because Camwella Kirk was sort of a prospect the LFA was looking forward to maybe finding his way onto the Dana White's Contender Series. And then Ednilson Santos beat his ass over 3 rounds. Oh, God. Woodison. He beat a guy named Woodison. Wow. If you're going on the regional scene, these guys have like unrealistic names. But Ednilson Santos, I think he's technical. I don't think he's great in some areas, but if Dylan Mantello goes past round 1, he starts to gas out big time and starts to really like just self-destruct. And I think Santos is just going to be tough enough. Are you tough enough that he takes his fight to round 3 and then finishes Mantello once he's up against the cage? Yeah, I don't think he has a lot of perseverance or cardio, and I think Santos, the experienced vet, is going to take full advantage of that. So give me a Nielsen. And I want to mention one more thing. Shout out to Denzel Freeman. who was in the LFA main event against this big motherfucker, Hugo Cunha, who got knocked out by Kunyev, who we were talking about in his fight with Curtis Blades that happened a week or two ago. But this guy
didn't happen.
It did not happen. Yeah. But it was scheduled to happen a few weeks ago. Still up in the air. And honestly, that was a terribly booked matchup. So I'm glad it got canceled. They'll probably fucking rebook it because they're very smart. But Denzel Freeman, because I watched this, he ended up getting Steven Asplin in a rear naked choke when they had their big Minnesota show, and people were telling me, "Hey, Denzel Freeman is a solid underdog, dude, strong, dude was part of the military, guy has way more muscle than this guy Asplin, and he's just going to take him down and sub him." And I didn't believe them, and I should have believed them. So now he's getting a full on heavyweight title shot after this. So my good luck to Denzel Freeman, because this dude's a stud, and the other guy opposing him is not a stud. Guy needs to not be the next Steven Asplin and be the next Denzel Freeman. So good luck to him. Good luck to him.
Cool. Antoine asks an interesting question. He says, what do you think is the best regional scene title outside of the bigger promotions, Cage Warriors belt or CFFC? Well, that's a really tough question to answer because I feel like once like a really good fighter comes through the promotion and wins the title, obviously like their main goal is to go on to the UFC. So like I think it fluctuates over time. But I mean, if you were LFA champion, that's pretty reputable.
How Brandon Moreno got back into the UFC.
Yeah, and yeah, that's a fantastic point. I mean, I guess Cage Warriors and LFA, but
you know what?
They're doing the most shows, right? So what is your pick?
My pick is the KSW titles. Phil DeFree on an 11 championship defenses in a row.
Yeah.
And then Saladin Parnasse is also a fantastic champion.
I don't think KSW, Ryzen, there's like one more. Oh, Octagon. I think that those are a step above what you would consider a regional promotion.
Right.
They're just a step above.
That's the thing. I don't consider Cage Warriors in LFA regionals because those work directly with the UFC.
Does KSW though?
No, well, KSW doesn't. I'm saying.
Oh, you mean Cage Warriors? Oh.
Yeah, because they're directly connected to them.
Yes, and actually,
quality.
So much so that like, I think it's even like a conflict of interest because of how many people from those promotions get fed into the UFC system.
Yeah,
like, and it's just one guy who manages them.
You know what you could call LFA?
Sounds pretty scummy to me.
You know what you could call LFA? An intercontinental promotion because they've been in California, they've been in Texas, they've been in Brazil. They go.
Yeah, and then well, I mean, even Cage Warriors has been like they do shows in Europe,
San Diego shows. Yeah,
but for some reason, like KSW and Octagon, like they draw way bigger crowds.
Yeah, I think it's a combination of national pride and like, hey, we got a promotion, you know.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, and then Frankie hopped in. Good to see you,
Frankie Turizo.
They're talking about Power Slap. Hippo says he only watches Power Slap. If the slapping isn't over a barrel, it's not legit. I don't watch Power Slap. Ring of Combat has had a lot of champs go on to do big things. I don't even know what that is. Not Contender Series failures just could have been.
I mean, they failed. They failed.
ASW is bigger than CWC. Yeah, which is bigger than APFC Shamrock. Yeah, there's like tiers.
Yeah. True, but they are more regional in definition.
But yeah, I would say that the regional, like, what is the best, most prestigious regional title? It fluctuates over time.
Well, was there a time that you felt like, oh, it's obviously this promotion?
Not. I mean, what? all the fighting nerds guys from I think they all came out of like
That's
Jungle
true.
Fight, right?
Oh yeah, you're right. Hey,
So-
shout out to Andrea,
Yeah.
Giga Chad of Split Decision Combat Sports and coach in Jungle Fight.
Instead of power slap, Dana should have done slap jujitsu. Yeah, no, I don't think so. I think
God.
that power slap is actually weirdly a good idea. Like, I don't. Okay, like it's a good idea for him to break into something really dumb.
Yeah,
Like if you're gonna rob a bank, you'd make some money. So like that's kind of what Dana White's doing.
yeah.
He took
People
a
forget,
really
man,
cheap-
that before
like a really cheap, stupid way to make money, and I think that Dana White is smart in capitalizing on that. I don't think that him doing
good for
jujitsu or whatever the fuck ever like wouldn't have been as
No.
viral. So
definitely not. And people forget that slapping competitions were actually pretty popular before the UFC got a hold of them for power slap.
Yeah.
Like I see videos of YouTubers being like, "Damn, this slapping competition! This guy,
Same.
this crazy beard guy."
and it's Big Red. Good to see Big Red.
How's it going,
Haven't
Big
seen him
Red?
in a while in the chat. So
Good to see.
anyway,
you.
dude, we got a UFC card to make picks on. So let's
Thank
get to
God.
it, man.
Thank God.
All right, this is my first time looking at all these fights. So
And he's somehow still gonna beat me.
I mean, okay, what are we at right now? I think hold on, something's going on with my fucking
Is
stupid.
it like 5-2 or what?
I think we're at 6-3 right now for the year.
Okay.
So
Not bad. I mean, that's
gonna-
the usual.
I'm up 3 on Hank right now. So let's see how this goes. Before we go into these picks, Frankie asked, would you rather watch Slap or Gordon versus Nicky Rod in combat?
Slap. I'd watch Slap.
Neither.
Good-
Neither.
good-
I'm gonna watch kickboxing at 3 a.m.
By the way,
Why is our health bar hurting? It's a little covered
blocked.
up.
we're blocked. we've been blocked before. Let me tell you.
What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, Karate Combat is doing that stupid power grapple or whatever it's called. I
No.
forget
It's
grapple
called
theory.
it's called. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, it's
Submission
called
series or
Well, no. They have like in the middle of a Karate Combat card, they've been having jujitsu matches.
yeah, grappling.
But wait, are they doing like a whole separate event that's like going to be grappling?
No, it's
Good
they
to
just
see
have it at the
Northwest.
start, but every time that I'm
Yeah,
watching,
I've seen that, and I've seen Aljo like
Oh, yeah, pit submission series. That's
hit
it.
the mission. Yeah,
But God, it is hard to get through those. Seriously.
well, it's like you go to Karate Combat to watch striking, and then all of a sudden you're watching
People
grappling.
on the mat and one.
That's how I feel when I watch a one championship Muay Thai card in the morning,
and they do grappling.
and then the first 3 fights are like an MMA fight and the
MMA.
submission grappling. And you're like, what the hell is going on?
garbage. Yeah.
Anyway, all right, man.
Good to see you, Northwest.
We got Garam Kudutaladze versus Kaue Fernandez. This is at lightweight. Garam is 13-4. He is 3-2 in his last 5. Minus 425, heavy favorite. And he is 33. Kaue Fernandez, I'm not familiar with this man. But
He
is
knocked
9
out Yaya.
Hani Yaya?
Yeah.
Muhammad Yaya. Oh yeah, that was that weird card in the Middle East, right?
Wasn't it Sanhagen versus Nurmagomedov, or was it something else?
Okay, it might have been. I don't know.
Who cares?
Like I said, I don't know this guy.
Yeah.
But he is 9-2. He is 3-2 in his last 5 as well. Plus 330 as the dog, and he is 30 from Brazil. So, Kaue Fernandez, as you said, he knocked out Muhammad Yaya, who was pretty bad.
Yeah.
What I remember.
Middle
looking
Eastern
through his record.
propaganda symbol of, hey, we got MMA guys.
Lost a split to Mark Ducasey almost a year and a half ago, and then he was in LFA knocking some fools out before he got the call up to the UFC to lose a split decision to Mark Ducasey, which, by the way, I haven't seen him fight in a long time. On the other hand, you got Garam, who was a Braves stan, made his debut against Gamrot, and in that debut, we were like, dude, this guy Garam,
Amazing.
yeah, right. And then since then, he's on a 2-fight losing. Here, he went on a 2-fight losing to Demir.
Only a split to the
Magulov.
mirror is impressive, but
Elvis Brenner he got knocked out by. And then
fight, by the way,
we didn't see him for a year, and he came back against Jordan Vucenic, which
he was supposed
was
to fight
that on.
someone else.
Yeah, I believe that was on short notice.
Yeah, I think some people were picking against Garam too.
That was a close fight, from what I remember.
It it started with Vucenic. Oh, big knockdown on Garam. Holy crap. Vucenic's going to do it. He's trying to lock up the submission. And then there was a huge push off the cage by Garam that basically got him out of there. And then Garam started to dominate in the grappling. And it's like, oh, damn, Garam's back.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So, but he did struggle with Jordan a little bit, who was supposed to be something big coming from Cage Warriors. And I kind of knew, like, he was a short notice, like he wasn't going to beat Garam, but just the fact that he got that knockdown was impressive. So Garam's in a weird spot in his career, and that's reflective on the matchup. Cowie Fernandez, who's kind of not a well-known guy,
supposed to face this man, Abdul Karim El Sawadi.
Oh yeah, of course, everybody knows him.
That guy.
Look, guys, I just got home an hour ago. I don't know what's happening, but what I do know is that Garam is going to win this fight. And because I'm not entirely sure where he's at in his career, I'm going to go the safe route and go decision. But if you ask me, 33 at lightweight, this guy needs a big performance here, especially after the hype that he had in his debut against Gamrot. Been going on a 2-fight losing streak. He needs a big splash here. So I would love to see, because I do like Garam's style, man. This guy goes for it. I would love to see him get a finish.
It's always a battle.
Dude, he's a curtain jerker. You know? That shows you what they think of him right now. And obviously, Cowie Fernandez coming off of a knockout. You know, they're just like, hey, man, you better get this done.
It's a fun
Not to mention, UFC's cutting fools left and right. So, yeah, we'll see what Garam can do. He's very well-rounded. I'm going to go Garam decision. But like I said, I'd love to see him get a finish. What about you?
Yeah, I'd like him to get a finish too, but unfortunately, I just don't think that's happening here. I think Garam's going to win a decision just like you. I think I really liked his performance against Vucenic, how he just turned the tables and just started to dominate the fight, in all honesty. He lost to Elvis Brenner, but he was beating the crap out of Elvis Brenner in those first 2 rounds. And then Brenner came back because he had more stamina and he's just really tough. But if that was someone else who didn't have the thick, hard skull of Elvis Brenner, I think Garam would have knocked him out. And then I'm impressed that he went to a split with Demir Ismagulov, and he won a split against Mateusz Gamrot, who were both big lightweight contenders at some point. Cowie Fernandez, I was entertained by his knockout of Muhammad Yahya, and I believe I picked him as an underdog in that fight against Yahya because Yahya's just so what's the word for it? Just set up like
his record was like totally fraudulent.
Yeah, and then but this is why I can't pick him right here. Goes to a split with Mark Diakhedze, who's like one talent is like, I can take you down and just grind you out. But
when Mark Diakhedze came in the UFC, he was a striker.
Yeah.
And then bro just started wrestling out of nowhere. And then now he's freaking Diakhedze Magomedov or something.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah.
But it's still very unimpressive that he loses to Mark Diakhedze, especially since he trained for that fight. And I feel like Garam could pull off the same game plan that Diakhedze did and just take him down when he needs to. But honestly, I think if he implements the grappling on Cowie Fernandez, which he very well could, I think the striking's going to follow. And I think Fernandez is just going to start to gas as we get into round 2 and round 3. I see him winning a pretty fairly unanimous decision. It's tough.
Fairly unanimous.
Yeah. Somewhat unanimous. I mean, if they don't bring a Middle Eastern man outside the arena into there to judge, then it should be.
Dude, Hank is all in the conspiracy theories. Of the UFC
the new gloves ruined the sport for a few months. But I think Garam Kudaludze wins a decision. Give me the Georgian Viking to put a lot of owies onto Cowie Fernandez.
Wow. Got some dudes talking about K1 in the chat. Frankie says kickboxing could be bad if UFC champs went there and got knocked out, or kickboxing guys getting beat up in MMA. Fans would want crossovers.
Bad.
I'm not sure what your point you're trying to make is. All I know is I want Rico versus Francis Ngannou in kickboxing. Need to bring that Quintet Ultra Grappling back. Dude, I've seen Quintet. Quintet is actually not bad. So it's like a team and like
Team of grapplers.
Yeah, if you like if you sub a guy, you have to grapple the next guy like immediately.
Now that's like cool. I like that.
It is,
like that.
And then like there's like points and shit. Quintet, and that was actually on that JMMA Expo.
Nice.
We did.
Halfway through.
But yeah. Callan Loughran versus Nathan Fletcher at bantamweight. Callan Loughran 9-2, 3-2 in his last 5, plus 130 as the underdog. He's from Ireland, but he trains in Liverpool. He's 28. Fletcher is 9-1, 4-1 in his last 5. He is minus 160 as the favorite. He's 27 from Liverpool, so we got some Scousers. At least dudes with some Scouser street cred.
They don't get knocked out.
I remember Callan Loughran's fight with Jake Hadley. I don't remember his fight with Pacheco. I might remember his fight with Lapalus, but Fletcher, I don't even know who the fuck this guy is.
He was on the Ultimate Fighter, and he had a competitive fight with Con Ofley, and then in another fight he won a fairly unanimous decision. But he's a submission artist from Cage Warriors.
And I think Callan is well-rounded, but he's more of a striker.
Yes. He's tough. He's gritty, but not that great.
Dude, I don't know shit about these guys, so I'm just going to steal Hank's pick.
Sounds good. I am going with Fletcher by decision. Even though Loughran calls himself the Don, he really has not looked like it in the UFC. And honestly, the fact that he has a Cage Warriors title in his profile picture should be sort of a stain on Cage Warriors lineage of champions, because he has not proven himself as a Cage Warriors champion in the UFC. He's tough. I'll give him that. He can put on a scrap. He did against Angel Pacheco, but Pacheco was hurting him in moments. And then Loughran would like sort of lean against him and then fire off some shots and come back. But I've never seen Loughran look dominant in a UFC fight. He's always coming from behind. No diddy. And with Jake Hadley, this was a short notice replacement. I believe, who is Loughran supposed to face? I always forget who the original opponents are. But Jake Hadley stepped in.
That's right. That's right.
But Jake Hadley stepped in on short notice and just beat the brakes off of Callan Loughran. Didn't even have to grapple. Didn't even have to wrestle.
And we were like saying like, oh, because I think Hadley had a bad performance in his last fight. I think he lost to CJ, right?
Yeah, he lost to Charles. No, he lost to Cameron Smotherman.
That's right. And we were like, oh, Hadley looked bad. Now he's going up to bantamweight. We're not picking him. And then, yeah, that's right.
Easy
that's
stuff.
Right. Then he won.
And then, all right, let me see who the original opponent of Callan Loughran. It was supposed to be Ramon Taveras. And I would have picked Ramon as well. I would have picked Ramon to beat Callan's ass. But instead, Jake freaking Hadley did it instead for some reason. I think that Nathan Fletcher can keep this competitive on the feet. He's done it with wrestlers. He's done it with strikers. If you can believe it, these two have actually fought each other before. They had one on like the amateur scene. And Fletcher won a decision against Callan Loughran, which tells me that even though he's a submission guy, something tells me he's going to try to keep this on the feet, since he's been doing pretty well there. And even if he gets Loughran down, Loughran just sort of like small neck, tough physique. Like it's hard to submit those guys. So I think he's going to take Loughran down in moments, but mostly this thing's going to be won on the feet. And I think Fletcher's just a tough guy and solid kickboxer all around. I think I picked this guy to win against Zigimantas Ramaska, because he was a short notice replacement for the Ultimate Fighter finale. He was gone because he had lost to Con Ofley. They were like, okay, he's not going to make it.
And I remember I stole your pick for that too.
Yes.
So you did me well. So
you're stealing all my Nathan Fletcher picks. And
we're riding with Nathan Fletcher. Let's go.
Great. Yeah, give me Big Nate. So there you go.
All right, our next fight. Frankie says Joe Rogan said Dana should have started a kickboxing league instead of slap. I've heard a lot of people say that, and I'm saying it would be bad. Yeah, people don't. American fans don't like kickboxing. I don't know why. But also, I don't think that like people. Whenever like people say like, oh, they're gonna start a boxing league, like Dana's gonna start a boxing league, or Dana's gonna start this or that. Like people have it in their head that like top UFC fighters are gonna go into this league, and it's like I don't buy that. So it would just be random ass kickboxers. So I love kickboxing, but just I don't think it would be bad as far as like, oh no, Dustin Poirier went over to kickboxing and he lost. It's like I think it would be bad as in like nobody gives a shit about kickboxing.
I feel like American fans don't really like the sort of like what's the word for it? Ick for that.
Tit for tat.
Tit for tat, back and forth, chess match. Even though they like boxing, and I think the reason they like boxing is because that was around in like the 1800s when guys were like bare knuckle beating the brakes out of each other, and then it was like, oh, big knockouts, and obviously kickboxing has a bunch of knockouts too, huge like legendary knockouts. But I think a lot of people, American fans, sort of associate with him. He hit him with a leg kick. He hit him with another leg kick. Body kick.
No, people love kickboxing. When it's done in the UFC, in 4-ounce gloves, under MMA rules.
Yeah. Not in the ring.
Actually, my 2 cents is that like American fans, okay, it's like pretty. The stats are pretty clear that more Latinos and African Americans watch boxing than MMA. MMA is a pretty much like mostly a Caucasian white person sport. Like
that goes back to the 90s too.
More white people watch MMA than any other combat sport. But Europeans and like Asians love the fuck out of some kickboxing. So it's just like not
interesting.
It's not ingrained in the culture here
class.
enough. Yeah. So that's really why kickboxing isn't very popular in the States.
Matua's right. That was a rematch.
Yeah, and Hank had mentioned that. Matua actually DM'd me a question today. And I answered you, Matua, but I'm going to answer you again here on stream. He said, I want to pull it up. I want to get his wording right. I want you to answer the question too. Sorry, give me 1 second.
No problem.
Matua says, what's better, having an old corner man or a big fat corner man?
We know the answer. It's the old corner man. It's the old corner man.
Oh, wait, well, why?
Because that there's been a history of like old cornermen being in boxing prospects corners and then them just finding a bunch of success.
Custom auto.
Yeah, exactly. And also, I don't know, it's just that little cap that they wear and give it to you nice and slow. And then I don't know, some the advice, it old man wisdom.
So I said that's a really tough question. I said in Asia, an old cornerman. Anywhere else, fat cornerman.
Fat.
Bomac is really fat.
Yeah. Hey, the Americans know how to eat. They know how to live.
Facts.
Terribly.
Cut me, Mick.
Cut.
All right. Oh God.
Dude, this question was way more. We answered was way more entertaining than the fight we're about to talk about.
Yeah, this is so Shauna Bannon versus Puja Tomar.
Looks like Nina Drama, Indian Nina Drama.
Everyone looks like Nina Drama to you people. Anyway, Shauna Bannon is 6-1. She's 4-1 in her last 5, minus 185 as the slight favorite. She is from Ireland. She's 31. Puja is 9-4. She's on a 5-fight win streak, or she's 5-0 in her last 5, getting some knockouts. She's from India. She's 31. So if I remember correctly, Puja Tomar lost this fight to Rayanne Amanda, but got the decision. And it was the same for Shauna in her last fight, right? She got robbed, or Elise Ardeline got robbed.
Yeah, she got given
Shauna,
the gift.
Right?
Battle of the gift given.
Right. So, both of these women are pretty bad, from what I remember. Because I do remember Shauna Bannon's fight with Bruna Brazil, and she got just beat up on
Yeah.
the whole time, but she survived. And then, yeah, Tomar, we were all cracking up because this is like Anshul Jubli, Puja Tomar.
She's the goat.
Can the women bring it back for the Indians? And we were kind of like, no, because
No.
MMA is not ready in India. And then she wins a gift decision. So
I
to
guess
me, this is basically a toss-up. But I'm going to pick just based off of where we're at. We're in the UK. I'm going to pick Shauna Bannon by decision. But I am hoping this Indian woman can bring it back and get India on the map in MMA. Let's go. Let's go, Puja Tomar. But yeah, I'm going to pick Shauna Bannon by decision. Go the safe route.
Yeah.
What about you, Hank?
Yeah, I'm picking Bannon by decision as well. I think Mama B has had more UFC experience. I think there were moments of success she had against Ardeline. She didn't look that great. And I remember ripping my freaking hair out when she won that decision against what hair I have left. And then with Puja Tomar, got given a gift against Raya and Amanda. I was so pissed for Amanda because she looked really good in that fight, and Puja Tomar just pulled it out of the bag. But I just feel like Shauna Bannon, there was more of like an argument that Bannon won. Whereas with Tomar was like, oh my God, this is the most meme decision ever.
Okay.
I think Bannon has a little more wrestling in the tank. Puja Tomar, obviously she wasn't able to replicate that knockout power once she got into the UFC. And something tells me that when Bannon gets a takedown, the UK crowd's going to be like, whoa, and going crazy. And the judges are going to notice that. These two are just rotten. I wish this card. I wish this fight wasn't on this card. I wish this fight wasn't on any card, to be honest. But they are equally low level, and I just think that Bannon has a little bit more grappling ability in her arsenal, and that's enough to take down an Indian female fighter. So
this is like an Invicta prelim fight.
Exactly. Oh God, rotten. But on Invicta, Puja Tomar gets a knockout. Random out of nowhere knockout.
Throwing mad shade at Invicta.
But in the UFC, no, that's not going to happen. So give me Mama B to teach Nina Drama a lesson and show her.
Nick says my girl Shauna via potato whiskey famine.
Yeah, she's going to starve her out. Starve her out.
Wow. Holy shit. Nick also says that Hank should hook up with Nina. Tank drama.
I have more.
Be a fantastic show.
Yeah, but honestly, I have more of a chance hooking up with her cameraman boyfriend than I do Nina Drama. So the guy's been through it, all right. He has to see other men talk with Nina Drama and say perverted sexual shit, and he just has to stand there and watch. So I'd be there.
Okay, this show's getting weird. Let's never talk about Nina Drama on the show ever again, please.
Yeah.
So now we've got next fight. Is that middleweight? It's Andre Pulayev making his UFC debut, or did he already? Yeah, because he won a Contender Series 6 months ago. Fighting CLD, Christian Leroy Duncan. CLD, I've always wondered if he has a CDL, because that would just be really funny to me.
But or DLC.
Anyway, Andre Pulayev is 9-2. He is undefeated in his last 5. He's plus 410 as the underdog. Jeez.
I'm telling you, the odds makers have jumped off a cliff, and a new breed has replaced them, because these are just rotten odds.
He's from Novosibirsk. I love saying that. He's 27. CLD is minus. Oh, sorry, he's 10-2. He's 3-2 in his last 5. He's minus 550 as the favorite. Jeez. He's 29. So CLD, I definitely know. Decent striker. I've picked him to win. He's lost in a lot of fights I've picked him to win, but he's mostly a striker. And he's not bad. He just he was kind of hyped up when he came in, and he had some good fights, and then he just doesn't ever break through or have that good performance that really puts him over. But he's good on the mic. And he's got a fun style, I think. But I don't know anything about his opponent. You see Andre Pulayev from Novosibirsk, and you think this guy's just gonna wet blanket him.
No, he's a striker.
Okay. So one thing I don't like about this guy already is decision win
Decision win a contender
on
series.
Contender Series, and that got him into the UFC, and never liked that. But Dana probably said he's 27. I love this kid.
I love everything about this kid.
Yeah, and he probably cried to get a contract. But I don't even. I mean, I'm just gonna ride with my guy CLD and probably lose the pick. But I got faith in my guy CLD. It's middleweight. Middleweight sucks, and this guy went to decision with Gregory Rodriguez in his last fight.
Not bad.
Commendable. But I don't know, man. I'm not confident in this one either which way.
I'm going with Duncan. I'm going with Duncan by round 2 knockout. I think it is impressive that he survived against Gregory Rodriguez, but dude, the bumps that CLD was like sustaining on his head were like, oh
that's
nasty.
right. I think I remember.
That was bad. But everywhere else, he's been getting knockout.
Well, one thing I think. So, and sorry to cut you off, but
yeah,
I think that when CLD fights a guy that's like not very good, he can knock him out.
Mm-hmm.
But when he comes up against like even a decent guy, he usually loses a decision. And doesn't fight hard enough.
Yeah, but I don't think Polyev is that decent. He barely won against Liam Anderson. He did all right. He had some kickboxing in his arsenal. Took him down a time or two. But I don't know, man. I feel like I had a lot of faith in Liam Anderson actually to beat Polyev. And I think he showed it sometimes with his submission ability. He showed off some head kicks. And I feel like Christian Leroy Duncan is just a better version of Liam Anderson. And I think he's going to be able to find that spinning back elbow or that big head kick or, unorthodox striking that sort of catches Polyev off guard. How I thought he was going to lose to Liam Anderson is how I think Christian Leroy Duncan is going to beat Polyev. I think RoboCop is highly underrated. I know that he lost to, Jared Cannonier, and that sucked, but he had him hurt. He had Jared Cannonier hurt in those early rounds. And then I think Jared Cannonier, he hit like an elbow or something. Boom. Right to the face. And that's what like put him down for a second. And then after that, it was like all over but the crying. But, Greg Rodriguez is pretty good. And if you can survive a fight with RoboCop, I think you're pretty tough. I don't think that Polyev can finish CLD at all. And if he can't do that, I think that Duncan is going to find the finish instead. I don't think he's going to pull off a decision win. There's too much unpredictability in Christian Leroy Duncan striking. So give me CLD to pull off the win against Polyev.
One thing I will say about these UK cards in the O2, some crazy ass shit happens on these cards, dude.
Yeah.
Like every time I've ever seen a UK card in the O2, like,
yeah.
There's some finishes.
And that's another reason why I picked CLD is because we've been picking decision after decision after decision. And I was considering picking Nathan Fletcher by submission in round 2, but then I saw that he had only taken Loughran 2 a decision before. So I couldn't pick him by submission. Yeah. But here I find it like likely, not likely, but okay. I see it as possible enough that I can actually pick it. So give me him by knockout.
There you go. The next fight is Nick says CLD had a lot of hype. Don't think he's lived up to it yet.
No.
Hank should do an impression of him doing an impression of Scott Steiner's infamous math speech. Yeah.
CLD.
I don't think we're gonna go for that today.
Yeah. Senior Joe.
Marcin Tybura versus Mick Parkin at heavyweight. Marcin Tybura, 26-9. He is 3-2 in his last 5. Up and down. He's minus 140 as the slight favorite. He's 39. Mick Parkin, he is 10-0, plus 115. It's basically a pick'em, but he's the dog. And he's 29. So Mick Parkin Every time I see this guy's name, I just have to laugh my ass off. Mick Parkin is one of 30 heavyweights on the UFC roster, by the way. So of course he's knocked out Lucas Bresky. Who hasn't? A decision win against Mo Usman. Kyle Machado won a decision, and Jamal Pogues won a decision. So, I mean, Mick Parkin has fought a bunch of bums.
True.
But damn it, this guy looks pretty damn good when he's fighting bums.
He does.
And so he's getting a pretty big step up in competition, which again, only 30 heavyweights on the roster. So, and he's fighting Tybura, who literally just knocked out Jonata Deniz.
He didn't knock him out. The doctor stopped it. He was on the verge, though.
Okay. It says TKO KO 3 months ago. And he lost by armbar to Spivak. Sub Tai Tuivasa made everybody cry and got knocked out by Aspinall. Dude, it's tough because you got this 29-year-old young heavyweight. I would say he's looking better and better as his career progresses and as he gets bigger step ups. But dude, this is what Marcin Tybura does, dude. He beats these guys, I think that Tybura loses to big strikers. I think that Mick Parkin is a pretty big striker, but knocking out Lucas Bresky, come on.
Not the most impressive.
Going to decision with a bunch of other decisionators. This is tough. Right here. But I'm gonna pick Tybura, and I'm gonna pick him by decision. I know it's heavyweight, it's in the O2. Mick Parkin, the British guy, he might get a knockout, but I gotta go Tybura to spoil the fun and do Tybura things. But and also I don't think that Mick Parkin is like a big enough underdog to really be like, dude, put some money on Mick Parkin here. I think the odds makers actually got this one right. What about you?
I'm going with Parkin. I'm going to pick Parkin by decision. Tybura, he looked really good against Jonata. Actually, honestly, he didn't look that great against Jonata Deniz. Like there were moments where Deniz sort of hurt Tybura, and he was like feeling it. And then there was a moment where Deniz joined Tybura to the ground. Like he tried to take him down and grapple with him for some godforsaken reason. And then Tybura ended up on top and laid down the hammer fists, and then the doctor stopped it.
It was a really weird fight.
Afterwards. It was a weird fight. But I just still think he got a little bit too beat up by Jonata Deniz on the feet. Beat Tai Tuivasa, who's washed. Lost to Tom Aspinall. But one thing you have to consider, who is Mick Parkin training with? Tom Aspinall. So I feel like Tom Aspinall is going to sort of teach Parkin a thing or two on how to deal with Tybura's like feints on the feet. And I think unlike Deniz, who's sort of a one-trick pony where he's like, a great kickboxer, but if you get him really like flat on his back on the ground, he's in trouble. That sucked. That really sucked because I really liked Deniz as a kickboxer. But I feel like Parkin has more than that. Like he's actually a wrestler. He's usually a wrestler.
Oh, so you're a wrestler now.
He's a wrestler now. And he beat Kyle Machado through the wrestling, but then he outstruck Muhammad Usman, pretty much dominated Mo Usman. I mean, that's not hard to do, but it was still, we didn't expect him to show like improvements in his striking. And then Lucas Bresky knocks him out and actually shows some power and like has good timing. I feel like his striking's just good enough.
Did you just compliment Lucas Bresky?
What did I say?
I thought you said he had good timing and had some power.
No, I'm saying Mick Parkin.
No, Mick Parkin showed that. Okay,
and showed his power. I would never compliment Lucas, except that he beat Walter Walker. I got to give him credit.
I know. How did he do that?
It's just like
why clock is right twice a day.
It's why that Ukrainian guy still has a job.
Oh yeah, what's his? Oh my God, what is his name?
Ihor Peteria.
Yes, Peteria.
Yeah, he still has a job in the UFC. Some things will never be understood.
Dude, but, who did Ihor Peteria like? Whose wife did he get with, or daughter, or like that works for the UFC brass? That they're just like, do you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna make him fight Michelle Pereira.
Must have been Sean O'Malley's wife. He's been passing her around a little bit. But Mick Parkin,
Gary?
Yeah, yes, he's been sitting in his stool ever since. I think that Mick Parkin is showing leaps and bounds in the striking, And I think even if he doesn't do as well on the feet as we think he will against Marcin Tybura, I think he's always got the takedown in his back pocket. And if he grapples, I don't think he's going to end up flat on his back. Because remember, Sergey Spivak was on his back against
we got that
armbar out of nowhere. So
yeah, but Sergey Spivak is a fantastic grappler.
Yeah, but I think that Mick Parkin's a solid enough grappler that he can keep himself safe here against Marcin Tybura. So I think
that's why you're picking him by decision.
Yeah. I think he's going to outbox him and then grapple him if he needs to.
I think if you're going to go Mick Parkin, you got to go KO.
I could. But he
honestly
beat Caio Machado, and I was like, how the hell did he win that decision? You know, but
Caio Machado is terrible.
That's true, but he still found a way. And they're in the UK as well. So you can trust him to win a decision, actually.
I just feel like that's how Marcin Tybura loses, right? Like if you go, I mean, he got knocked up. I mean, but it's like, see, and this is the problem too with heavyweight. He got knocked out by Aspinall and subbed by Spivak. I feel like you got to put Tybura away or else he'll just find a way to win.
Right.
But this is what's so weird about heavyweight right now is like these guys at the bottom of the barrel, like it's like heavyweight, like the 30th ranked heavyweight is just terrible. And then like the 20th best heavyweight isn't much better. And then the 15th ranked heavyweight, which is like around the space Tybura occupies, is like pretty damn good. And then once you hit like 5, they're all just way better than all these bums. So it's like, dude, heavyweight sucks ass right now, dude. It's so bad.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why I think that for me this fight is like really hard to pick because it's like, dude, Mick Parkin's been fighting all these, top 20, 30 guys. So it's like I think he's better than him, obviously, like, and has a more potential. But I don't know. I got to go with my guy Tybura, man.
Yeah,
I got to go with Tybura.
We got some comments.
Mick will be parking his art in the hospital after the fight. Vinny the Guinea says he is enjoying. Cool.
Good for you,
Good
Vinny.
to see you. And it's AJ, dude. AJ.
We got knocked the fuck out.
I went and applied for my passport, dude. So
yay.
Let's go to Japan. Let's go to Ryzen. Saitama Super Arena.
Save your population. Have some babies.
I'm down. Only because Ihor beat Shogun.
That's right.
That why? I don't know if that's why. I feel like they hate that guy.
Yeah, he should be cut.
Oh my
god. He's
the
fall guy.
Hank should hook up with Danya O'Malley. She could give you some colorful cornrows.
It's sort of strange that his wife's first name is so similar to Dana. Maybe there's some sort of triangle going on there. I don't know.
Some love triangle?
Yeah. It's not outside the realms.
Love you, Dana. Oh, yeah. Anyway. Preemptively planning to duck Parkin impression. I
am going to get.
No. We don't. I don't need. I
I
know you and Vinny are impression guys, but let's go to the next fight. It's Loner Kavanaugh versus Felipe Dos Santos. Loner Kavanaugh undefeated, 8-0, minus 395 as the favorite. He's a Chinese British guy.
Yes.
And he's 25. Felipe Dos Santos, 8-2. 3-2 in his last 5, plus 310 as the dog. He is 24. So obviously Loner Kavanaugh, everybody knows he is a 5-time K1 world champion. Which is what they said after they signed him on the Contender Series. And what I've since learned is that like any type of kickboxing, they just call it K1. So maybe like
lame.
In the amateurs, he just did some kickboxing. But like literally, if you go look at his like record, there's no kickboxing matches anywhere. But the guy's got some good kickboxing. Felipe Dos Santos, pretty decent, well-rounded fighter. Let's see. I think he beat Victor Altamirano. That was that Mexico City card.
Yes.
And I thought that Victor Altamirano like beat him for sure, and he won the split. There was a lot of weird judging on that card. But he lost to Manel Cop and Andre Lima, who's decent. So, obviously your first instinct is to pick Loner Kavanaugh here. And I think I probably will. The only thing is that, as Matua says, Loner's grappling is in question. I think that's a decent reservation to have about him. My biggest issue with Loner Kavanaugh is I think he's just undersized for the division, man. He's 5'4", and he just looks really small in there against other flyweights. So I'm not sure how high his ceiling is, because obviously he looked amazing on Contender Series, and then he debuted against
Jose Ochoa.
3 months.
It was short
Who
notice.
knows? I have no idea who that is.
He was a
went to
random
decision with him.
outside the UFC.
Right, so went to decision with a random. So I don't know, man. I'm gonna pick Loner Kavanaugh here. I think Felipe Dos Santos is pretty decent, but I'll be really watching Loner Kavanaugh very closely in this fight, because I want to learn more about him, and I hope we do get to learn more about his grappling in this fight. What about you, Hank?
Yeah, I'm picking Kavanaugh by decision as well. He looked great against Antoine Ho, but you guys are talking about his grappling being in question. He had to take down Sean Marcos da Silva to beat him. So he had the takedowns in his back pocket. He has a little bit of wrestling in there. And then against Jose Ochoa, kept it on the feet. I think he had a few takedowns here and there, but mostly it was on the feet and didn't look as good as we thought he'd be, but was still fast, still had his combinations, and that got him the win. Felipe Dos Santos got taken down by Andre Lima, who before that was a kickboxer. And we were like, oh yeah, and I picked Dos Santos against Andre Lima because I thought
you are in the Andre Lima hate fan club.
I am on the bandwagon. I'm in the treehouse with the little Andre Lima doll over the fire and putting things inside of it.
Wow,
no Manson, but
things inside of it.
But no Diddy. But I do think that Felipe Dos Santos, if he can get taken down by a guy who's otherwise a kickboxer. And by the way, shout out to Andre Lima, because he did get that round 3 sub. And I was like, dude, if you want to actually prove yourself as a solid flyweight, please get the submission. And then he found it. So good for Andre Lima. Now, maybe I'm starting to like him again. Once he finishes, Hank the Tank's a fan of yours.
Steve Erceg out. Andre Lima is the new Steve Erceg.
Yes, the new Steve Erceg. He's going to beat Pantoja. He's going to take down Pantoja and get the submission. Trust. But I think if a kickboxer like Andre Lima can get Felipe Dos Santos down, I think Loner Kavanaugh is young and improving and could easily learn to get some takedowns against Felipe Dos Santos, since that seemed like the path to victory before. And he's fast. Like, it takes fast strikers to beat Felipe Dos Santos, and I think Loner's one of those guys. He's sort of small like Manel Cap, but then puts the combinations together. So give me Loner to win a decision. But I do hope sincerely that Kavanaugh finds a knockout here, because I think that would put some more hype on him again. And it was on short notice against Ochoa, who some people were actually picking as an underdog against Loner Kavanaugh. So give him his props.
All right, we got Jai Herbert versus Chris Padilla. Jai Herbert, 13-5-1. Jeez. This guy is 2-2-1. What is this? It says majority decision, but maybe it was a majority draw.
Majority draw, yeah.
Ludovic Klein, which is actually not a bad. Yeah, because Ludovic Klein is really damn good. But he is minus 120. So this is a pick'em, and he's 36. But he's 6'1", dude. He's a big lightweight. Chris Padilla, on the other hand, 15-6, but he's undefeated in his last 5. Plus 100, near even. And he is 29. So Jai Herbert's been in the UFC quite a long time. This is going to be like a striking affair here for sure, in my opinion. Jai Herbert is pretty damn good. Obviously, this is the guy that got iced by Ilia Topuria. Ilia Topuria's debut at lightweight.
That was a very memorable fight.
Yeah, for sure. Because Topuria obviously Jai Herbert got that sick head kick, rocked Ilia, and then Ilia just literally killed him in the ring. It's
amazing.
In the cage. It was a spectacular knockout. But Chris Padilla, dude, I've been sleeping on this guy. I've been picking him to win. No, actually, I I don't think I picked him against Lontop or Rongju. So yeah, I have been sleeping on Chris Padilla. But
Maybe
dude, Chris
maybe
Padilla,
you picked him against Rongju. Maybe you picked him against Rongju.
okay. But so before coming to the UFC, he knocked out Justin James, who was in the UFC at one point, and he's a decent fighter. But I mean, he's just getting his start right now in the UFC. And in that time, he subbed Lontop and knocked out Rongju with that nasty elbow to the eye.
That's super luck elbow.
That's right. He shot it out super leg. After he watched this card, this was the card right after, actually, was when he knocked out Rongju. But I want to pick Chris Padilla just based off momentum. But Jai Herbert looked pretty damn good against Bedoya. Kind of had a bounce back win and like a rejuvenation win. Because I thought he looked fantastic. Obviously, getting past the reach of Jai Herbert is always an issue. But I think I'm going to ride with my guy, Chris Padilla. I don't know if he'll get a knockout. I'm going to go the safe route. But I think Chris Padilla's just got the momentum behind him. He's a younger guy. And Jai Herbert's had a tough go of it lately. So also, he hasn't been super active. And Chris Padilla's been very active recently. So yeah, give me Chris Padilla to win. Not sure how, so I'm just going decision safe.
I'm going with Padilla by round 2 knockout. I think Padilla has had an amazing, unprecedented run in the UFC. 14-2 James Lontop, who, by the way, had a back and forth fight with Slava Claus, took that dude out within a round and submitted him. And then against Rongzu, pretty much beat his ass. Dominated, and then found the perfect blow to take him out for good. I think Jai Herbert is underrated. It is impressive. He got that majority decision draw with Klein. But then Freziano.
Why was that a draw?
I mean, they say decision either way because it's like the method of the fight ending.
No. I'm saying, like, why was it a draw, though? Was there a point taken?
I think so. I think that was definitely 3 rounds. But yeah, I think maybe Ludovic Klein was doing really well against Jai and then had a point taken, and then Jai sort of bounced back and had a nice closing stretch. I just think that Bedoya, I don't really rate Bedoya all that much. With Chris Padilla, I honestly don't know what I'm gonna get with Chris Padilla, but I do know that he's finishing his fights against solid competitors, and that tells me that I think he's gonna find a knockout against Jai Herbert. I think he's going to have an unconventional shot. I think he could take Herbert down to the ground and even beat him up a little bit. But if he's watching, and apparently this guy watched a lot of highlights of MMA on the regional scene, like studies tape. And so he could know like where the sweet spot is to hit Herbert with something big. Or he could just be finding some moves like Superlex elbow on Jonathan Haggerty, and be like, hey, that's a move that I could do, and then just like bam, hit it on him. I don't know. I just feel like Padilla has a lot of potential, and I think he can finish it. I honestly do.
I'd love to see that.
Yeah. So give me Padilla by round 2 knockout.
Love it.
Give me the taco to eat up bangers and mash from Black Country.
All right. He's the Black Country banger. So.
Yes.
All right. It's Nathaniel Wood versus Morgan Charrier at featherweight. Nathaniel Wood, 20-6, plus 155 as the underdog. He's 31. And then you got Morgan Charrier, 20-10-1, minus 185 as the favorite. And both these guys are 4-1 in their last 5. So Morgan Charrier, refresh my memory. He beat Chepe, but he got robbed, right?
The people said it was a robbery.
Okay. And then he knocked out this guy, Zucchini.
Yes. He
knocked out Gabriel Miranda. Everyone knows the story about Nathaniel Wood because we talk about it every single time he fights. His nickname is The Prospect. And there was a time where Nathaniel Wood was looking like that dude. I mean, beats Charles Rosa, a crafty vet, tough fight. Beats Charles Jourdain. We're like, oh shit. Beats Feely, and this is like his most recent run. But he had some losses before that 3-fight stretch, and now he's just kind of going to decision with guys in fights that are kind of really close, and it seems like Nathaniel Wood is like, yeah, it's very frustrating to watch him because we've seen him do really great things, and now he's just kind of going through the motions. It seems
mediocre. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Mediocre, just like, I don't know, loses to Naimov and beats Pineda. So now he's kind of just like going to decision with guys that an actual prospect should be finishing. So now he's getting Morgan Charrier. It's the reverse. He's getting he's not getting a layup anymore. He's getting a young, hungry guy. But I think that's going to be Woods. I think he's going to shine. I don't like this Frenchie guy. Not high on him. But to be fair, I don't really remember all his fights that much, and maybe that's why I'm not very high on him. Give me Nathaniel Wood to win by close decision. Make it too damn close, and we're all just going to be sitting there going, remember when Nathaniel Wood was a hot prospect, and now he's just like not looking great. I wish Nathaniel Wood would knock somebody out again.
Not happening.
That'll be me after the fight.
That he had his chance against Daniel Pineda and then just crawled into his guard and never looked back. And I'm picking Charrier. By decision. I really didn't like his performance against Daniel Pineda. He ended up on his back for almost the entirety of round 3 against Daniel freaking Pineda and was getting.
And he's like shots. Pineda's like 41, right?
Yeah, exactly. And then against Naimov, sure, Naimov like grabbed the fence to get up, but really, was Nathaniel Wood doing anything in that fight that was like, wow, he's going to work on him? No, he grabbed his back and just hugged and squeezed and like freaking George from Lenny from of Mice and Men. And I don't know, man. It's been a while since he's gotten a finish, like you said, against solid competition, to be fair. But Andre Fili, is he knocking people out? Is Charles Jourdain knocking people out? I don't think these fighters have the power that Morgan Charrier does. And this is what convinced me that he had a really good fight, in my opinion, against Chepe Mariscal. I do think he won that fight. And there were moments where Chepe was like diving for takedowns on him and couldn't get him.
It's coming back to me.
Couldn't get him. And Charrier was just going in a back and forth war with him on the.
This is the guy that looks like XX Tentacion with the.
Yes, he does.
Raids,
yeah.
Right?
And then whenever he wins, he does his little dance that he does after he gets the knockout, And against Gabriel Miranda, he went for some takedowns. He failed them. And then Charrier just got the knockout out of nowhere in round 2. That was a great Paris card, by the way. I love that card. Especially since I got number 1 on Tapology. But
of course,
Zucchini knocked him out with body kicks. Also, he's had, he may be thought of as like, oh, he's just a rookie, he's a scrub. But look at this dude's record. He's 20-10-1. He actually has more fights professionally than Nathaniel Wood does. And he fought Jordan Vucenic. I think he fought, oh God, who else? He fought some prospects in Cage Warriors. Like, he lost to them for sure. But he still had some fights against some solid fighters that would end up doing decent in the UFC. And I don't know, man. I think if he can make Chepe Mariscal shoot for desperation takedowns, I think that's going to be the same thing for Nathaniel Wood. I think he's going to get pieced up when he fails the takedown. So give me the last Pirate to steal Nathaniel Wood's only chance at getting into the top 15 at featherweight, and then he'll prove who the real prospect is.
There you go. All right, Jordan Vucenic versus Chris Duncan. No, not Chris Leroy Duncan. Chris Duncan. Jordan Vucenic's 13-3. He is 4-1 in his last 5. Lost that decision to Guram on short notice. Before that, man, I think he was Cage Warriors champion, right?
Who? Yes, he was. I mean, look at the profile picture of him.
Yeah, it's him with the belt.
Holding the belt.
Yeah, he's subbing all these fools in Cage Warriors.
And another thing, about Charrier, he lost a majority decision to Paul Hughes.
Oh shit! Wow.
Yeah. So he's facing
news.
solid competition. That's what can, and he lost to Saladin Parnasse by decision. So I don't know. I think he's underrated.
Tough cookie. Good to see Robin. He says, love to see the consistency. Glad you're back, man. Good to see you.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Vucenic subbing Fools and Cage Warriors before he gets the late call up. Which, by the way, that was so dumb. I think Vucenic fight Garam on short notice. Like,
Yeah, still did well.
This guy a full camp, dude. Yeah, he did. But he is 29. He is minus 345 as the favorite. Chris Duncan, on the other hand, this guy is 12-2. He is 4-1 in his last 5 as well. Plus 275 as the dog. He's from Scotland, and he's 31. So Chris Duncan, this guy, as I remember, he's kind of just a brawler. Got subbed by Manuel Torres. Not the worst thing. He got a sub. Okay. Dude, I think that this is actually going to be a really good fight. I could have sworn Chris Duncan. Maybe I'm thinking of some other fucking guy. I'm thinking of Tom Nolan. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
But I don't think Chris Duncan is much different from him. God damn it. I don't know who the fuck this guy. I swear, I've seen all this guy's fights.
He's very unmemorable.
He only has a knockout against Charlie Campbell, and that was his Contender Series debut. I remember seeing that. Split with Omar Morales, who's bad. Goes to decision, beats Yanel Ashmuth by decision, who's pretty decent. Loses to Manuel Torres and beats Oki by sub. Dude, I got to pick Vucenic here. I think Vucenic is going to get this done. I think these guys are going to. Well, I don't know. You get two grapplers. Sometimes you get a sloppy striking match. Oh God, I hate to do this. This is the most boring picks from me, but I'm just gonna go Vucenic by decision. Just not knowing enough about either man's game. But yeah, I would love to see Vucenic like make the debut he was supposed to have against Garam and with a full camp. Would love to see Vucenic get done because he's a really fun fighter and a fun guy to watch. And like as you said, did really well against Garam.
Yeah, give me Vucenic by round 1 submission. I think Vucenic was dominant in Cage Warriors as the champion, taking down Fools and subbing them just like that. And even when he was called up on short notice against Garam, he knocked him down, almost got a submission in round 1. And now on a full training camp, what is Jordan Vucenic going to look like? If frickin' Balaji Oki can get Chris Duncan down to the ground in round 1, who was, by the way, dominating Chris Duncan before he got caught in that Anthony Smith style guillotine choke. I think Vucenic is going to look good on the feet against Chris Duncan. I think he's solid. He's composed. He's good at defending himself and then using the strikes to get the takedowns. And I just feel like Chris Duncan, if he tries to latch up a gilly, Vucenic's head is popping right back out of that. And then he's going to find a freaking arm triangle after he's done escaping the submission. I think Vucenic is going to look just like he did in Cage Warriors. I have a lot of faith in this kid. Great submission ability. Really good at defending himself. Honestly, could have had Garam if he didn't kick off that fence. He would have won 2 rounds and he would have won that fight. So I don't know. I think he's going to look even better here when he's, got a full training camp. And I feel like the epidemic is going to be spreading throughout the UFC, and he's going to be the real problem, not Chris Duncan. Epidemic's a problem, folks.
So we got Molly McCann versus Alexia Thainara making her UFC debut. Molly McCann, 14-7, 2-3 in her last 5, plus 150 as the underdog. She's 34 from Liverpool. And then Alexia Thainara, nobody knows who this is. Making her UFC debut. Okay. She beat Rose Conceição on Contender Series to get into the UFC 5 months ago. Before that, she was in SFT Combat, Jungle Fight, and she's getting some finishes, got some knockouts and some subs on her record. That's a good
indicator.
Yes, that's very good. But to me, this is a setup fight to get Molly McCann a win. Give me Molly McCann to win a decision. But again, I don't know enough about Alexia to make a confident pick. To me, it just looks like a setup fight for Molly McCann.
And that is not true. I'm going with Tainara by round 1 sub. This was not the original opponent for Molly McCann.
Okay.
The layup for her was a woman by the name of Estela Nunes. And then she pulled out of this fight with Molly McCann. And instead we got Alexia Tainara on short notice. And let me tell you, I really liked her performance against Rose Conseco. She looked dominant on the feet, had good scrambles, got takedowns. There were moments where her movement was so fluid and she was even like taunting a little bit. I was like, dude, I see some striking greats in the way that she is like moving on the feet right now, and really impressed me. I actually like, Paul Felder does this stupid little, oh, here's my rankings of all the Contender Series prospects, and I have Tainara down at the very bottom. And I was like, you idiot. No, you should never commentate a Contender Series week ever again. I had Tainara at the very top. And I honestly think she's going to look like Julia Stolyarenko did against Molly McCann on short notice. And just like, oh, round 1 armbar on Molly McCann. Oh, she got subbed. And remember, Erin Blanchfield submitted her with a Kimura. Bruna Brazil came very close to submitting Molly McCann because she got her back. And Molly McCann was, just fought with tenacity and got out. But Bruna Brazil isn't a finisher. Tainara was a finisher on the regional scene. And I think if Julia Stolyarenko can submit her in round 1 on short notice, I think that Tainara is just going to get her down and sub her.
Bro, I'm sick of you throwing shade at Julia Stolyarenko like she ain't that lady with the subs.
She is, but she was on like what, a few days notice again, or she was like a big layup fight for Molly McCann, and then it was in a minute. It was literally in like
Bro,
a minute or 2 minutes.
Stolyarenko broke my WMMA crush's arm. No, not Seika Izawa. Jessica Rose Clark's arm with an arm bar.
Yeah.
So I don't know. To me, it's like you get subbed by Stolyarenko. I don't think that's the worst thing ever. But I do understand what you're saying. You just think that Tainara is going to go in there and just not play any games, just take her down.
I don't think so. Yeah, and even if she doesn't get the sub, I think she's going to beat her up on the feet. I think she looks really good. But that's just from what I saw from her on Contender Series. And hey, we saw Duben and what happened to her, so who knows? Hey, we got a new member of the chat.
Yeah, we got Ryan. He says we're fire. Hell yeah, dude. Thank you, Ryan. We got CSP promoter talking mad shit. Good to see you. And then Lorenzo says that this is a boring show and he's fiending a raid. All right.
Are you
asking for stopping by? I have no idea. While Lorenzo predicts is here. Cool. Well, he's a buddy of CSP. There you go.
There you go.
Yeah. Good to see you guys. Kevin Holland versus Gunnar Nelson at welterweight. The Goonies. It's Kevin Holland, everybody's favorite glass cannon. He's 26-13. Jeez. And he's 1-4 in his last 5.
Looking like Ihor Pateria right now.
Dude, kind of, huh? He is. So this is close to pick 'em odds, but Kevin Holland is plus 125 as the underdog. Gunnar Nelson, he is 19-5, 3-2 in his last 5, minus 150 as the favorite. He's Icelandic. He's 36. So Gunnar Nelson sub Barbarina, beat Takashi Sato. Before that, he had a really long layoff, and his last fight was against Burns. Lost to Leon Edwards, submitted Alex Oliveira. Split to Edwards is definitely interesting. So Kevin Holland, and I always say that like Kevin Holland is the guy that as soon as you're done with him, he just comes back,
surprises you,
and he looks amazing. I think this is a good fight for that, but I don't know, man. Like I'm feeling like I'm done with Kevin Holland. What about you?
I am too. I'm done with him as a person, aside from him being a fighter. Little piece of shit.
Yeah, I think that he rubbed a lot of people the wrong way with his appearance on the Rampage.
Even before that,
Jackson Pod.
when he was like, "Oh, I'm not here to win a championship. I'm just gonna lose, and if it's not my fault, I had a bad training camp. And I just don't have a lot of faith in myself." I was like, "Oh God, what a drama queen."
Well, I think that all kind of started with the Stephen Wonderboy Thompson fight.
Yeah,
I mean, he willingly went in there and had a kickboxing match with Wonderboy, and it ended very terribly for him. I remember at one point he like literally he fell right on top of Wonderboy.
yeah, and then he was just like,
Yeah, so I mean, honestly, I don't think that's the worst thing to just be like, "Yo, like I'm not gonna want a belt. I'm just here to make money." But I guess I understand where you're coming from. So his last win was to Oleg Sejcik in a very weird fight.
got
He
knocked
basically,
down.
yeah, he broke Oleg Sejcik's arm, unofficially. But yes, and he had basically the same fight with MVP. He got clowned by MVP. Went to split with Madalena, which is weird. The Delidze fight and Rainier Dorito. So he's losing to like really good dudes. And Gunnar Nelson on the tail end of his career. But I think, to your point, he's taking it more seriously since coming back. He's on a 2-fight winning streak. But I mean, he beat Sato and Barberena. God, dude, this fight. I don't even know how to pick this fight. Even though I am done with Kevin Holland,
Can't blame you.
I think that he'll come
Are
back.
you kidding me?
I think he'll knock out Gunnar Nelson in the second round. Give me Kevin Holland by second round knockout. Wonder what the odds are on that. If not, Gunnar Nelson's going to submit him in the first round.
Hey, look what my prediction is here. I'm going with Gunnar Nelson by round 1 submission. Yeah, Kevin Holland told Rainier DeRitter, "Hey man, just don't take me down, okay? Don't take me down." And then what happened? Rainier DeRitter took him down and then submitted him fairly easily. And then before that, he got taken down by Roman Dolidze in round 1, and then pulled a Tyron Woodley. Oh, my rib. And was out of there pretty quickly. Got knocked down by Mikhail Olegzaychuk, and if he didn't get that armbar, he probably would have been knocked out on the ground. So he could easily be on a 5-fight losing streak right now, giving Tony Ferguson a 6-fight losing streak. Oh, no, 7. A 7-fight losing streak. Oh, no. He beat Michael Chiesa. I'm sorry. But
didn't he Darce? He Darce Chiesa too. That's
yes,
what I'm
he
saying.
did.
Like,
yeah. But he would be on a 5-fight losing streak right now. And meanwhile, with Gunnar Nelson, submits Brian Barberena easy. Sato, there were moments where he had Sato on the ground and could have subbed him. And then it was just one of those, okay, we're not going to give you what you want. He beat him by decision, But he was looking really good on top. Gilbert Burns he loses to, I get it. Leon Edwards almost beats him, and imagine the trajectory of Gunnar Nelson if that had happened. I think he's going to take down Holland in round 1. I think he's better as a wrestler than Michael Chiesa is. And once he's on top, you're in big trouble. I think Holland's going to look like he did against Rainier DeRitter. I really do. I think he's either a rib's going to snap, or he's going to get subbed. One or the other. He's just terrible on the ground. He really is. And he was only able to beat Chiesa because he refused to get taken down. Nelson is a great wrestler. He will get him down.
Fantastic
at some point here. So I think that's what's going to secure him the win here. So give me Nelson by round 1 submission. And Goonies never say die. Goonies never say die.
I'm just going off of like universe vibes picks because I'm like Kevin Holland's on a really bad run,
and
some weird shit's gonna happen.
Yeah, and I doubt that Gunnar Nelson knows what a 45-70 is, but I think he does know how to snap a neck. So,
got it. Yeah, no, I Gunnar Nelson is the smart pick by submission. At that.
We'll see though.
We're getting a lot of weird comments right now.
A bunch of people doing goat milk comments like all over MMA.
I don't even know what goat milk like drinking goat milk. But we did have Giuliano stop.
Giuliano he's stalking.
Holland's personality out of the equation. He does have a tendency to rage quit, especially at 170. That's right. He does way better at middleweight, and this is at 170.
Mm-hmm.
Shit. Interesting.
He
Vinny,
did lose to Rainier DeRitter pretty easily at middleweight.
yeah, like really quick. Apparently, this man says he stretched Holland out, and I answered the goat milk percentage question for you guys. It's 69%.
Nice. That gives me even more of confidence in Gunnar Nelson. If this guy stretched out Kevin Holland, what's Gunnar Nelson gonna do to him?
Hey, 2 joints, dude. 2 joints. I've been on. God damn, I was on Pulse's stream with you, bro. Good to see you, dude. I haven't seen you in a really long time, dude. Shout out to 2 joints. Super chill, dude. Super chill, dude.
By the way, G4 spawned about me. It's 110% because I actually eat quite a bit of goat cheese. So my goat milk percentage isn't
How is
bad.
that?
It's actually pretty good. If you put them on crackers, they're absolutely delicious.
69 Fahrenheit or Celsius, bro? Fahrenheit.
Of course, Fahrenheit. Yeah, Fahrenheit 9/11.
All right. Our next. Oh shit. Our next fight
is Kevin Holland versus Gunnar Nelson.
It's Jan Blachowicz coming back. I didn't look at the card before, so I'm like, bro, Jan Blachowicz is fighting Carlos Ulberg? Banger. At light heavyweight. Blachowicz, 29, 10, and 1, plus 185 as the dog. He is 2, 1, and 1, or sorry, 2, 2, and 1 in his last 5. He's 42 now. Damn. God, where does time go? Carlos Ulberg, 11 and 1, on a sick little winning streak here. Has he lost a fight in the UFC? I think
he has. He got knocked out.
Who was it by?
It's by some rando. Oh boy, okay. Where is it?
Anyway,
I'll do my research.
All right, cool. He's minus 225 as the favorite, and he's 34. So Blachowicz, man, feels like it's been forever since he's fought, and that's because. Go ahead.
Kennedy Nzechukwu.
Oh shit!
The heavyweight goat.
Damn, that's crazy.
And yet OSP beats him.
Crazy to see how their careers have diverged since then. Much like that guy who knocked out Islam in his day, Adriano Martins.
A legend.
Anyway, so we haven't seen Blachowicz since he lost that split to Ferreira. Before that, it was the draw to Ankalaev. And then before that, he had that leg injury, or he beat Rakic by leg injury, lost via sub by Glover, and then beat Adesanya. This is awesome that Blachowicz is coming back. And even more awesome, in my opinion, they're giving him Ulberg. I love this fight. Ulberg beating Ozdemir Menafield by KO. Submitting Da Un Jung, who's kind of sucks. He knocked out Iho Prateria, who sucks.
Who sucks.
And Nikolai Negamarianu, who also sucks. Nikolai Negamarianu? I remember that guy.
The legend.
He's basically Michael Oleksiejczuk. And they look like almost exactly the same.
That's weird.
Dude, this is a sick fight. You know that Blachowicz is going to make this very competitive the whole way through. Blachowicz has, in my opinion, not only is he very powerful, he can wrestle, he can do it all, but I think that Blachowicz has fantastic vision and like IQ inside of the cage.
Oh, no doubt.
I think that's like probably his greatest strength. But dude, he's 42, and this is light heavyweight. You can hang on for quite a while in this weight division.
Ask Glover.
Man, dude, I love this fight. Old crafty vet getting the young hot prospect. And I mean, when I say hot prospect, I mean just look at Carlos Ulberg. Like this guy's like chiseled out of stone. Very attractive guy. I mean, look, we don't kink shame around here, but it's a good looking guy, this Carlos Ulberg. So of course they want him to beat Blachowicz, and I think that's what's gonna happen here. I think that Blachowicz's only way to win is to probably knock Ulberg out, because I think this is just going to be a really technical affair, point kickboxing match. And that's Ulberg's game. He's going to win. And that fight with Magomed Ankalaev was basically the same, but I think that Olberg has a little more lethal striking, more flashy striking as well. So yeah, give me Carlos Olberg to beat Jan Blachowicz. Unfortunately, this is what needs to happen for the division to move on from Jan Blachowicz. But dude, I would love to see Jan Blachowicz pull this off. I think he'll look decent, but I don't think either man's going to go out. But yeah, unfortunately, it's time for Blachowicz. Yanni Blocko is going to lose this one.
I disagree. I think
Wow.
Blachowicz is going to win because I saw his fight with Pereira. Dude, you could argue that he won that. You could argue he won against Pereira. It was razor close for that one. And then against Magomed Ankalaev, who's the current champion in this division, he went to a draw with him. Leg kicked the shit out of him, made him look like he, didn't belong there. And against Carlos Olberg, he had a close fight with Volkan Ozdemir. Let's be honest. He looked in trouble at moments against Volkan.
I picked Blachowicz, I picked Olberg to knock Ozdemir out, and there was like a point in that fight where I was sweating. I was like, dude, Volkan might win this.
Yeah, and I think Blachowicz is going to finish the job. Knocks out Menefield, who fights like an idiot and just rushes forward and gets sniped against a sniper, and then has a sort of weird performance against Da Woon Jung, to be honest, where he looked good. Da Woon Jung looked good against him.
I think Da Woon Jung is a really good striker. I think he didn't Da Woon Jung knock out Kennedy and Zechiku?
I think he did.
Yeah. He's a really good striker. So yeah, that was weird to see him get a sub.
Yeah, but I just think if Blachowicz can do that to Pereira, who, refused to get taken down by Magomed Ankalaev, got stuff, kept against the fence.
I don't think that Magomed Ankalaev ever fully committed to the takedown in that fight.
Yeah. But I feel like, where is Carlos Olberg training? City Kickboxing. And who's part of that gym? Israel Adesanya, who Jan Blachowicz took down over and over and over again and dominated on the ground. I feel like Olberg, have we seen his takedown defense? I don't think so.
I think we have. I think, let me see here. Didn't he fight right? Oh yeah, Menefield. Menefield tried to. No, the Menefield fight was really quick.
Yep.
You might be onto something here.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen anybody take this guy down. I feel like if Jan Blachowicz gets him down, he's gonna smother him. He's gonna smother him. And if he could do that against Pereira in the first round, I think he can do that more against Carlos Olberg. I see him winning in close decision here. Because if Volkan Ozdemir can test him on the feet, I think Jan can too.
The only thing that bothers me about Blachowicz right now is I don't think his output's been very high in any of his fights recently. That's what really does worry me about him. Because even if he smothers Olberg, I think it'll be for like half the round. And it'll be, like you said, I think it's going to be a close one, technical fight. I don't think it's going to be a banger of any kind. But I'm gonna enjoy all 15 minutes of this fight.
Yeah, but I think he can pull it off. That's my opinion.
For sure.
He almost pulled it off against the light heavyweight champion with 3 defenses.
Yeah, and I'm going Olberg just because I think that it's time. I think that the division is moving past Jan Blachowicz.
I get it.
At this point.
Yeah.
Vinny is calling me sus for calling Olberg handsome. I mean,
it's a nice picture of him.
He's a good-looking dude. But it's funny that you would call me sus when you have dyed blue streaks in your hair.
Damn. He also said that he's loved me. So,
yeah.
That's interesting.
Dude, good to see WMC. He says Blachowicz is gonna snap Olberg's shin bone. Damn. Leg kicks. And we got Cheddarhead, dude. Cheddarhead.
Hey, the legend, dude.
Love to see Cheddarhead. All right, man. It's winding down. And we're in the main event now. It's Leon Rocky Edwards versus Sean Brady at welterweight. Leon Edwards, 22-4. Lost his title to Bilal Muhammad. He is 4-1 in his last 5, plus 125 as the dog. He's 33 from Birmingham. Sean Brady, 17-1. God, his only losses to Bilal Muhammad. So both these guys, Bilal Muhammad victims. Oh, yeah, that's right. And he got knocked out by Bilal, and we were all tripping because we thought
He
Bilal
never
was
does
just the
that.
decisionator. Yeah. But he is minus 150 as the slight favorite. He is 32 from Philly. So he last beat Burns, and he's Kimura Gastelum. Getting Kimura in the UFC always cracks me up. Dude, look, I love Sean Brady. Well, no, I don't. Why did I even say that? I think Sean Brady is he's a fine fighter. I think that he is the worst prospect out of all of the prospects at welterweight. Dude keeps on winning, and credit to him. I think that he I think that he is improving in the striking. His grappling is obviously super on point. But I don't know, man. Sean Brady doesn't really do anything that like wows me. I think it's important that he is getting his shot against a top guy in Leon Edwards. But dude, I think Leon Edwards got this in the bag, dude. I think Leon Edwards wins a unanimous decision. Sean Brady might win a round, possibly two, but 5 rounds with Leon Edwards, dude. I got Leon Edwards. I think that he's more than skilled enough to deal with the grappling of Sean Brady, and he's a much better striker than Sean Brady. The only problem is Leon Edwards just doesn't do enough in his fights. You're just waiting for something, and it never comes, and he just outboring wins you. And that's why I was so bummed that he was fighting Bilal, because you're like, this fight's gonna suck, and Bilal just outpaced him. It was crazy to see. So I think he's gonna recognize that he needs to pick up the pace. Give me Leon Edwards by unanimous decision. I really don't think that Sean Brady has much for him. I know that Bilal outpaced Brady I know that Bilal outpaced Edwards and outgrappled him. I don't think that the grappling of Sean Brady is the same as Bilal. I don't think he's going to put that same kind of pace on Leon Edwards. I think by the 3rd round, we'll start seeing that Sean Brady is a little more gassed out than Leon Edwards will be the fresher fighter. So yeah, give me Leon Edwards, 5-round experience, former champ. I got Leon in this one, and I just don't have the faith in Sean Brady.
You didn't put it in. You didn't put it in on Tapology.
Oh, thanks for reminding me. Let's put it in. Decision Edwards for me.
Yeah. I'm going with Brady. I think Brady gets it done by decision. I know he lost to Bilal, got knocked out, but Bilal Muhammad's the champion. And he also put the pressure on Leon Edwards with those combinations that just put him on the back foot constantly. I think he showed his cardio against Gilbert Burns. He looked good in the 4th and 5th rounds. He was still shooting takedowns, still striking on the feet, still beating up Gilbert Burns, in my opinion. I think he's been improving quite a bit. Gastelum, he took down easy. Got that Kimura easy.
Gastelum isn't a good win for me personally.
Yeah, but he doesn't get taken down and subbed.
Unless it's by Jack Hermanson and he gets heel hooked in the 1st round.
Yeah. Well, that's a Brock Lesnar kind of finish right there. Sean Brady was taking him down over and over again and just pressuring him and smothering him. Against Leon Edwards, I feel like the game plan to beat him was set by Bilal. That he just got to pressure. He's going to be on the back foot. Like, there were moments where he should not have been on the back foot against Usman. But he allowed himself to be pressured up against the fence and then taken down sort of with relative ease. I know he's pretty good at taking down other guys, Leon Edwards, but Colby Covington's washed, in my opinion. He's been washed for a while. Against Kamaru Usman, he had a close decision with him, and he was losing until that head kick.
I did see a stat that Sean Brady is the youngest opponent that Leon Edwards has fought by like 5 years. For like the past few years.
Right. But I think that might show. that might honestly show. Like Usman was sort of similar age to Leon Edwards, and he was getting down Edwards relatively easily. And I think Sean Brady can just do the same thing because he knows how Usman did it and he knows how Bilal did it. And I don't think he's going to gas in the 4th and 5th rounds. I think he's going to keep it up. And if Edwards allows Brady to get close to him and try to take him down against the fence, and he does it early in the fight, I think it's going to be a long and winding road for Leon Edwards. And like apart from Bilal, who got knocked out on the feet, like I don't see him getting knocked out by Leon. Or I mean, I don't see Leon Edwards knocking anybody out, but I don't see him getting picked apart by Leon. I really don't. I think Leon Edwards is going to lose motivation when he keeps getting taken down. That's my opinion. So give me Sean Brady. I think there's a lot of potential there.
Gotcha. Well, cool. Yeah, we have a lot of disagreements on this card.
We do.
Awesome. Good stuff.
Good.
We got a lot of people hopping in. Let's see.
Let's read the highlights.
Nah, I got Brady. Probably sub. Wow.
I can see
crazy. Dude, Ty. Good to see Ty Bets. We got Mandema Frankie. Is this Fight Night Frankie's
blood clot Mandema?
Jamaican, right?
And then we got Jaden. Good to see Jaden. All right.
Habanero.
Oh, Brady W. Tricky card though betting wise. Okay, got you. Yeah, no, I mean, there's some good fights on this card. I think it is a pretty decent card. What about you? Any final thoughts on this card?
Honestly, expect a lot of decisions, in my opinion, but I think they're going to be solid fights. And I think with any UK card with the crowd, it's going to make it fun. Although I will say, prelims of God, what was that pay-per-view? I forget what, I think it was 304.
313. Oh.
No, the one with Bilal beating Leon. That was a terrible prelims. Terrible. Like literally the worst I've ever seen.
That one was in Birmingham, right?
Yeah, it was. I think that was 304. No, it wasn't. It was, oh God. I think it was like 309. Might have been. But anyway, yeah, that was atrocious. And I really didn't enjoy it. So honestly, don't go in with high expectations. Because again, when a card looks good, it usually isn't. And in that the prelims curse for the UK cards might continue.
My apologies to Vinny. I could have sworn he had like this blue streak in his hair. It's just a white beard.
I think that's his profile picture.
Oh, okay. It's just the white beard throwing me off.
Mm-hmm.
Also, he has lots of lights, I think, in his room. So,
he does.
Yeah. Kind of suspect to me. Anyway, it's all
both
good.
All
right, man. Yeah, and then 172. I'm gonna do a preview stream for that tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. What do you have left for the week? Any streams planned?
I'm not sure. Might try to do a Hank's Think Tank at some point this week. Might work on some videos, if I'm being honest. And but mostly I'm gonna try to chill out because I got some time off this week. So I'm gonna try to enjoy myself.
Cool. And then obviously we will be giving you a
fight companion.
Fight companion. We'll see who's gonna do that one. But there will obviously be a post show. It's a pretty decent card. Lots of stakes on this card.
You know what would be my recommendation? You can do a fight companion for one, and I can do a fight companion for fight night.
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
Yeah, we'll see.
But yeah, and then man, and then we'll recap one. We'll do a special recap stream probably on Sunday as well with Phil from CST. So yeah, man. Any final thoughts? Any parting words for the viewers, or you want to do your outro?
My parting words would be, don't have any faith in Leon Edwards.
Damn, I'm fucking up. I got faith in Leon Edwards.
No, I mean in general, just like as a fighter, like in terms of style. Just don't.
I mean, it's not very exciting. Oh, no. Yeah, totally.
and have faith in Jan Blachowicz.
There you go.
And then there's any other guys. Have faith
Vucenic.
in Jordan Vucenic, the man.
Probably the lock of the card.
Yeah, the good stuff.
Cool. All right, man. Lead us out.
You have escaped the concrete jungle for now, dude. I fucking stayed up, man. Thank God it's not midnight and I can finally watch. Where the fuck is Party of Body? 314, are you fucking shiting me? Why isn't he main eventing a UK card? At least I'll see Morgan Shariat doing it.